Yeah, baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are. Welcome to the loneliest show on all of the internet. Welcome to Sam Roberts. Now, hope everybody is doing fabulously. Hope everybody is doing fantastically. We are live here for you on the loneliest night of the week. Lonely Friday night, and everybody's been wondering, how will the strike affect Hot Dog? It hasn't. He's here. He's here. But you're on mute. You're on mute, Hot Dog.
Happy Cinco de Drinko, Sam.
Cinco de Drinko. You know why Hot Dog was on mute is because he said, I will be there, but I'm not giving you a bit of my written word.
No, I as a union member, I am supporting my allies over there at the Hollywood, what is it, SAG or whatever the hell it's called?
No, of course it is not called that. It's the WGA is what you're talking about.
Okay, whatever, SAG, yeah.
The WGA. Now, are you, are we keeping up, Hot Dog, with everything going on? Are we cognizant here of this writer's strike? It's a big deal going on in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, it's
okay. That doesn't sound. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not reading every single article on it. The shows are still pumping out right now, you know. So like
the shows they're not live.
Yeah, I'm saying Netflix still has a bunch of shows for me to get through, so I don't have to worry about it yet.
You're going like, wait until my content well dries up, and then I'll be concerned.
Right. Yeah.
I see. No, that's a good way to cut it. Well, I mean, if this goes, so it's been going all week. Apparently, these two sides are not close. I would imagine that it would affect all of our content watching much more a year from now, or, you know, a year and a half, 2 years from now, when all these seasons are super delayed. I believe the last WGA strike, which was 2007 to 2008, I think that's the one where we ended up with a season 2, I believe, of Friday Night Lights, where Jesse Plemons was covering up a murder. I mean, it went from a melodrama about a high school football team to Jesse Plemons finally dating the pretty girl, except they had to cover up a murder together. It really went off the rails hard. And I don't know. I don't remember if that was because, I would imagine it was because they just had to real quick get a season out there for TV. Because
production started already.
Yeah, they were like, okay, the strike's over. All right, what can we do? What if there's a murder? Perfect murder. Let's go. Like, there's no time to double check and triple check these things. But that's why it's so important to have a good deal with the writers. So you do double check and triple check these things, because otherwise you end up with a murder on Friday Night Lights, and it really becomes one of those classic seasons that people go, yeah, that show is great, except like there's that weird turn where we don't talk about that. They got back to football in season 3. Season 1, season 3 are great.
You don't realize as you like you're gonna know it's kind of off, but you won't know why, and then you'll Wikipedia it and you'll be like,
exactly. Right. It's like when you meet a baby and you realize that means the parents had sex on Christmas. You know what I mean?
Sam,
okay. Okay. You just start subtracting 9 months. You're like, I got you. I know what you guys are up to. Yeah.
Right. You're going to get a text message from me in 6 months' time. They're like, what's going on with all the shows?
Yeah, exactly. You won't even understand. We are experiencing it. If you watch, like, I don't know who's left watching late night TV shows, but if you're out there, they're not on for you. James Corden got out. He had his last show, and then now there's no more late night shows at all. Colbert, Fallon, all of them are taking hiatuses, I believe, along with their writers. I think The View was the only chat show that did stay on without writers. And they said, how can you do that? And they reminded everyone, well, this is a very brainless show. So it doesn't matter. Like, as long as the table is here, we can do the show.
Yeah, all they do is just like yell over each other. What do you need writers for?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess the writers were just there to throw bullet points at them.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so
it's like Travis, like with his morning emails.
Travis could be a writer for The View, where it's like, yeah, I've got some experience.
There's a couple of links.
Exactly. Yeah, the writer for The View sends links the night before. Yeah, SNL. No SNL right now. I saw, it was actually kind of funny. I saw on Instagram, Michael Che is doing a stand-up show at the City Winery with friends. He didn't say who the friends were. Saturday night at 11:30 p.m.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I want to go.
He's got nothing else to do. It sold out real quick. It did. He announced on his Instagram. It sold out real quick. But that's a bummer. For instance, see, we're already seeing things be affected by it. Pete Davidson was supposed to host SNL this week. It was going to be a big to-do. He's got a new series on peacocks, and he was probably thinking, oh, it'll be the big return of Pete Davidson on SNL, but now I'm hosting, so I'll actually be in the skits. And, it'll be great promotion, but now that promotional vehicle is gone. No late night shows, no SNL, no nothing with writers right now.
Well, you can go on The View.
He can go on The View.
You could go on Gutfeld.
Yeah, is Gutfeld still dead? Gutfeld's got to have writers, no?
Gutfeld is, I read, their writers are not union.
Huh.
Which,
They asked,
shocker.
Well, yeah, because they asked Tyrus to write the jokes this time, and he's doing it. He's the NWA World's Champion, so he's rocking and rolling. No, I did see some of the big shows that are already delayed. This one bummed me out. I love my Yellow Jackets. Now I got real nervous for a second because they go because Yellow Jackets was split up. They did the old split season, so they did episodes, 5 episodes maybe. And then they took a hiatus. And I went, you better not tell me. You better not tell me. We are getting the second half of season 2. However, on Monday, the writers walked into the writer's room for day 1 of writing season 3. And they went on strike on Tuesday. We got one day.
That's at least one episode, right?
Well, I think it takes more than 1 day to write an episode. How long y'all take to write an episode? I think, so Yellow Jackets season 3 is clearly going to be delayed.
Do we know what's going on with Jim and Sam?
Jim and Sam is going to be okay. We actually, throughout the week, were live. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yeah, we've been live throughout, which people are calling us scabs, but that's actually nicer than what they were calling us before, so we'll take it. Stranger Things has been delayed, they say.
That show's not over yet?
No, Stranger Things is not over yet. I believe it's got one more season, except Stranger Things, their seasons are more like, they are groups of movies now. Like you put on an episode of Stranger Things and you're like, oh, episode 3, it's 2.5 hours. What? For the episode? Yeah. This episode is going to go ahead and take 2.5 hours. Imagine having that much power as a TV show. Netflix is like, how long is the episode? Yeah, we're going to need more money. Episode 3 is 2.5 hours long.
That can't be profitable for them. Let's cut that in half.
They don't. No, they're like, how about no? They're like, okay, all right, no, whatever you need. Stranger Things,
all right,
whatever you need. I was looking at what the strike is about, right? Trying to figure out, okay, what the strike is about.
What are they bitching about?
Well, that's not the way I phrased it. Generally, because the overarching thing is like, look, these companies are making all this profit. As the writers, we would like a share of that profit. And I think that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. I think they cut the writers out too early in the process as it is. You hear all these stories, right, about like people, they write a script and then they get a big director to direct the project. And the writer isn't even allowed on set because the director doesn't want to hear their bullshit. And then the director just gets to do whatever they want. The script just basically becomes the director's outline. And the director
gets all the credit.
Yeah, a director gets all the credit. Right. Yeah. So, I get where writers are like, we're really necessary to this stuff. Like, it's really important that somebody writes the show. Plus, it takes forever, this writing, Every time I've sat down to write anything, I write the first paragraph and then the end. And I'm like, I get impatient, and then he dies. I can't get past 3/4 of a page.
You see the quality really take a dive.
100%.
Halfway through.
I'm just typing real quick to get over it. Yeah, the whole middle part is illegible. It's terrible.
And then Roman Reigns wins everything.
That's how, yeah.
It's your fantasy booking.
It is my fantasy booking, and I think it's going to get me an interview. I think it's going to get me. But what they want is they want a minimum, they say, because they're right, because they do need more credit, and also they got to, in the union, protect themselves as technology improves and as new ways of money are being made, right? Like Netflix goes like this. They go, we're going to add an ad-funded tier. It's going to be cheaper to subscribe to Netflix, but there's going to be ads, and people are going to pay for those advertisements to be on Netflix. Companies will give us money. And then the writers go like this, oh, so you're going to put advertisements on our shows that didn't have them before. And Netflix goes, yes. And then the writers go, then the money's also for us. And Netflix goes, no. So that's part of it, I think. They're going like, you guys are still, even the streaming companies that are like doing not as good as before are still bringing in crazy amounts of money.
Yeah. The whole, we're failing as a company thing is because maybe instead of making 150 billion, they're making 100 billion.
Right.
That money, you still got a lot of money left over to spread the wealth around.
DQ's asking about Yellowstone. Forget about writing the show. They can't get the star to go to the set. I mean, Yellowstone's got bigger fish to fry right now. But so I guess some of the things that the WGA want are they want a minimum of 6 to 12 writers per show. Like they want something in writing that says we have a minimum of this many writers in every writer's room. Which, I mean, I get, like, if I'm just a dude who's trying to piece together a show, I'm like, that's a little unreasonable because you're making it tough to afford. But then I realize, like, these shows aren't being made by just a dude. These are shows that are being made by these big multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that are putting, like, huge money into other stuff.
Yeah, were you thinking it's like a mom and pop show?
Exactly. It's not like I'm going like, how do I make this in the Notsam studio? Like, that's not what's happening. So, 6 writers, and they want a guaranteed number of weeks of employment per season. So when they sign up to write a show, they go, we're guaranteed 10 weeks, which...
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that that's not already happening, right? Like that you wouldn't... Like if the show just gets canceled, which it could for any reason, it's like, yeah, you can't... I'm sorry you can't feed your family. It is what it is.
Okay, it's reasonable stuff so far.
And then the other thing, and this is something you could see it, so this is stop trying to make freelance happen. So the writers' strikes picket signs are some of the best picket signs you'll ever see. I mean, they're all being very, like kitschy. They're all being like, oh, I'm a writer, so I'm going to have fun writing my sign, which technically is against union rules. They shouldn't be doing that. But they all have fun little jokes on there. And this one says, Error 404, writers on strike. Now, the reason that says Error 404, writers on strike, because one of the big parts about this writer's strike is that they're, well, I don't know if it's as big a part as they're making it seem, but they're looking at AI and how they can write rules in for AI. Now, I don't think this is as big a deal as a minimum number of writers per show or like guaranteed number of weeks of employment per season is probably like a very big deal to the WGA. But it's not as sexy as, ooh, they're worried about AI. Like people love writing articles now that goes like, oh, we're afraid of AI. AI's coming and look, the writers are on strike because they're worried about robots. Which it's a legitimate worry. I don't think it is.
I disagree with you.
And I don't think that most of these writers, I mean, look, if you're sitting there and you're honestly going, you're not allowed to use AI for any purpose, right? I've said this, it's the exact same thing I said about schools. When schools were like, we're going to ban ChatGPT, I'm like, this is so dumb. It's insane. You can't. It's the genie's out the bottle. Like there's no conversation to be had. Ooh, do you think AI is going too far? It doesn't matter. It's here. It's done. You can't just go, oh, well, that's probably too much. Let's end the development of technology. Let's stop here to preserve ourselves. Here's what we're going to do as a civilization. We're going to stop developing so that we're able to survive. And then I would go like this. Then what's the point? It's a purely selfish existence to live without trying to bring the civilization forward from a grander level. If you're just done with technology, just that's it. We reached the top. Like we were trying to climb the top, we reached the top. And if we reach the top, we reach the top. But if it's over, then it's over. It doesn't mean, like when you climb Mount Everest, you don't just live up there. You don't go like, okay, well, I climbed this mountain, so I'm going to build a house up here, and this is where I will live because I'm done climbing. No, you go, all right, I'm at the top now. Now I'm going to go back down. It is what it is.
That's what we're doing. We went to the top, and now we're going down.
Which is unplugging the machines?
Yes.
So where do you draw the line then?
Anything that is going to quickly replace millions of jobs.
That's just a thing. I mean, you weren't sitting there. You didn't try to stop Easy Pass.
I wasn't around for.
Talk to the toll booth workers. Hey, when you go to a mall, huh? You go to the parking lot in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you give a guy cash?
No.
Do you put a ticket in a machine with no person there?
Yeah, that doesn't affect the
We're all you little movie ticket takers at AMC's when they put in all the kiosks. Were you all like, oh, this will take millions of jobs, or were you like, all right, good, I won't have to deal with customers now?
But we were also we were unionized in the movie theater.
Cool,
so.
man. I'm glad you guys got a lot done. What'd you get up to? $7.75 an hour?
I went up to 9. I'll tell you.
Hey, my guy. Look,
I mean, we created the nuclear bomb, and then we decided we should just probably stop there.
You think they stopped?
I would hope.
No.
And we check each other. We're like, "You're not using the bomb, right? You're not developing any nuclear bombs." And we're like, "No."
You really talk to Kim Jong-il.
He's full of shit.
Yeah, he is. You know what else he's full of? Nuclear bombs. He's making tons of them. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He is. I can tell. He's got them. I can tell. He's got confidence. You wouldn't have that kind of confidence without a bomb. Look. Also, like, what are you trying to preserve? Have you looked around? What are you trying to preserve?
Yeah, I've looked around. I like the way things are.
Look at you, hot dog. This is what we're trying to save right here.
What?
This.
Me? Yes, my job can be replaced.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the worry. If AI comes, they could destroy humanity, and then we wouldn't have this anymore.
Yes.
I'm fine. I would like to give a shout out to the robot overlords. Come on in. It's okay. Look, it's a tool. Why are we afraid of a technology? Learn how to use it. If I don't mind going back to the WGA. I don't mind if the WGA wants to put things on paper so that their copyright material can't be used by AI. I think that's what they're worried about. Everybody thinks they're like, yeah, they're saying no AI because robots will take their jobs. It's exactly what you just said, even though you got no idea what you're talking about. You just made it up.
I told you, I saw a video of AI cutting clips almost perfectly.
Yeah,
you want me replaced? Are you going to have CyberDog on here next week?
First of all, I won't have to have you replaced because you haven't cut a clip in 10 years.
Well, they're going to learn how to record video.
How about this? If when AI learns how to make promises and then not deliver until late at night when I finally ask for it, then you can be concerned.
Oh, you mean like, oh yeah, you'll have it late tonight.
Don't convince people because people see the clips I put out. Don't you dare make it seem like you have anything to do with it. You don't. You're lucky your face is even in it.
Well, I also video edit at my job.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I should edit you out of the job. Listen.
Can AI do a nice, close, intimate shot of you and Shawn Michaels? It might in a couple years. And where the hell am I going to be?
I don't know, figuring out a new talent, I guess. You're going to be,
That's all I got.
You are going to be adapting with technology. You're going to be learning how to use the technology to your advantage and utilizing this tool. Okay? I'm sure there are lumberjacks that thought they were out of a job when the chainsaw was invented. But you know what happened? Leatherface and everybody that knows how to use a chainsaw, they just started their own lumberjack businesses. So yeah, a bunch of people swinging axes couldn't do their thing anymore. But you know why? Because they didn't learn how to use a chainsaw. This AI, all this ChatGPT stuff, it's a tool that we can utilize, okay? I have no faith that we will do it right. The internet has already destroyed us as a civilization. We're not ready for it. We're not capable of it. But it is what it is. We either learn how to use it or jump off Mount Everest. That's it.
This is very top hat, high rise of you, Sam. You sound like one of those.
You think I'm an elitist?
Yeah, you sound like those liberals who go like, well, we're getting rid of the coal mines. Why don't you find another trade? And then the coal miners.
AI can't do coal mining. You're the elitist because you don't have a real job. You edit video.
Look at my hands.
I know they're soft as a baby's bottom. You're like Zoolander. I think I got the black lung pop. That's what you should learn how to do. Learn a trade, hot dog. If you're so worried about AI, become a carpenter. Learn a trade. A trade.
I hope AI takes your job,
No,
Sam.
AI is not taking my job because I got a million jobs. It's going to have to be many AIs. Okay? And there's only one last professional broadcaster. Why do you think I always call myself the last professional broadcaster? It's no more. It's over.
AI's coming.
It's over. It's okay. It's okay. Look, AI, I'm okay with the union if they're going, hey, what we don't want is for you to pay us a small amount for this script, treat it as a first draft, and plug our script into AI to punch it up and then credit AI for the movie or not give me full credit for writing this movie. I think that's 100%.
AI, you hear yourself?
You don't think that could happen?
What are we crediting a robot for?
Do you know why we need AI? Because people who can't follow conversations like you.
You just said credit an AI in a movie.
I said that I believe what the writers who are on strike are worried about is that they will write a first draft of a script, submit it to a studio, and the studio, instead of allowing that writer to go all the way with the script, will plug their script into AI to get a final draft of it, punch it up, and then credit AI or the studio with the movie writing instead of the original writer. Does that make?
I apologize. I'm
getting
getting worked up.
I know you are. And you know who doesn't get worked up? Our robot overlords.
Well, can you put them out in 90-degree weather and have them work? I mean, they overheat. Humans don't do that.
No, they don't. But you wouldn't need to move these giant servers out to 90-degree weather. That'd be a crazy, insane thing to do. You'd have all these extension cords. It'd be like, why did you do this? To prove a point.
Burn the machines.
They can't adapt. Give me a scuba suit. I'll do this job underwater. That machine can't. And so if that's the case, I think that's perfectly legitimate. I think that they should be protecting themselves against stuff like that they should have ownership over what they're writing, and that they should be able to trust that they can use AI as a tool, as I think people should be able to do. The same way you can use the internet and all the information available on the internet as a tool without it, corrupting your brain. People go, well, if everything's on the internet, you don't actually need to know anything. Theoretically, yes, but people like to exist without having to just read Wikipedia paragraphs all the time, except for Hot Dog. That's what he does.
Well, the internet has all the information, but you still have to do it yourself.
What, type
That's
it?
where the well, I mean, like whatever the information you how to code, how to create a website, how to code.
Okay, but don't you think that 30 years ago, people would be like, oh man, you used to have to go to the library and find a book and go through the Dewey Decimal System and look something up, and then you write it down, and then you have to think about it and figure out how to apply it. Now on the internet, you just sit there at your desk, type it in, you got this, you got that, and you're done in 2 hours. Don't you think that they were sitting there going, oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is not what I'm used to.
Yeah, but I like the internet.
Because you grew up with it.
Yeah.
I want my kids growing up with AI. They'll conquer it. They'll use it. It will be a tool for them. You know what tool I have at my disposal?
Mm-hmm.
Hot dog. It sucks.
Not cool.
It sucks. Terrible tool.
Jack of all trades.
Jack off of all trades.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we'll see. I hope the writers, you know what? I hope the writers get their paper. I hope they get their bag. That's what I hope. I hope these writers get their money. Get that money. Get that
I'm pro-union.
Yeah, you are. Wait till that AI comes in.
No, don't say that.
Speaking of TV, I don't know if you're watching this. I have been thinking, and maybe this is part of my acceptance of AI. I've been thinking, like, when James Corden announced he was walking away from the Late Late Show, I was like, you know what? This is probably the last generation of famous late night show hosts. I'm not saying there won't be another person who has a late night talk show, but in reality, they're not even putting a talk show on in the James Corden slot. Like, the reality is that once Colbert's done, once Fallon is done, these networks are I don't know if they'll kill the Tonight Show brand, but it's not like there's nobody who's sitting there going like, oh, maybe he's next to be the Tonight Show host. That used to be a thing. I mean, there were wars over it. It was like Letterman and Leno fighting it out. Conan and Leno fighting it out. Fallon jumping in to get this. Can you imagine somebody like fighting tooth and nail to get a late night show slot like that now? It would never happen.
That's also because there was a lot of toxicity back then. You
think that things are not as toxic anymore? You think that the world that we live in
late
is...
night show hosts are all buddy.
They gotta be. They're hanging out. Yeah, because they're holding hands, trying to make sure that the storm doesn't come and blow them over. I'm saying I just don't think. I think that that's kind of it for. This is it. It's still alive, but this is kind of it. I think I was saying this in the video that I did about Tucker and Don Lemon. I think part of this is cable news channels will be around for a very long time. I don't think that there's going to be another Tucker Carlson or another Don Lemon on television. Whether it's on the internet, whether it's, but I don't think that that's going to happen again.
What if they pulled all their money in?
Who's that?
Grabbed like these networks.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, we need to change the format. Maybe it's not going to be a Tonight Show, but maybe we could score Joe Rogan, and maybe we could put him on Tonight, not Tonight Show with Joe Rogan, but maybe that's like the new thing. Maybe that's the huge shows, like because internet. Because
here's what would happen. Joe Rogan would say, "I appreciate you guys, but all you networks pooling your money together, I can make that in SuperChats." You know,
yeah.
And then the networks would go like, "We finally found enough money to give Joe Rogan what he needs, and now we're out of business. There's no way that this operation can be profitable anymore." I don't think TV is going away. I think there's still going to be shows and sports shows and shows that don't cost as much anymore. But just the idea of these household name celebrity people, I don't think it's really going to happen again.
There's still great vehicles. I'm just saying for like up and comers. Yeah.
Today, yes, 100%. Yeah. And we may have people who branch off of TV to start big things. 100%.
Yeah.
But that person who's like these people in media that are like that have power, that have control. It's like that's
the Titans.
Yeah, that's done, right? And I kind of feel the same way about TV shows. Like I came to this realization. Succession has like, I think 4 episodes left this week. I think is episode 7, 8, 9, 10. Is this 7 or 6 this week? I think it might be.
I don't watch Succession, but
bro,
look it up.
bro. I think this week is episode 7. I think there's 4 left. And it's like, after Succession, first of all, this scene, and by the way, this is what I'm telling you. I feel like Succession is the last big weekly, you've got to talk about it show. I mean, even Yellowstone is going away. It's all ending. I think Succession is kind of the last one. There'll still be shows on streamers. You know, obviously The Mandalorian is huge. Obviously Stranger Things is huge and everything, but it's just a different thing. I think it
is episode 7, by the way.
It is, right? Fuck, only 4 episodes left. And when I tell you, usually this stuff ends with a whimper, right? These empires, they end with a whimper. But not TV, man. This scene right here on the last episode of Succession, I'm not going to spoil anything. This might have been this is one of the best television scenes I've ever seen. I keep thinking about this scene. Now, it didn't have the high drama that like one of my other favorite television scenes, I know you love it too, hot dog, is when Hank shows up in Breaking Bad Breaking Bad's got 2. Of course, Hank on the turlet when he finds
Ozymandias is the episode you're thinking about.
When he shows up and Walter's in the car.
The shit just goes down.
And Walter's in the car yelling. And that's an incredible scene. I'm not saying this is better, by the way, but or worse. I'm just saying this is, for me, I don't think about just specific television scenes that much. But this scene, I mean, I couldn't believe the way I was reacting to it. My heart, my chest was tight. And it's all, like, this isn't life or death stuff. This isn't drugs in, Mexico and the DEA or any of that stuff. Yeah, this is just a billionaire family fighting it out, and still just the height of drama. No, this is a good thing. No, this is a terrible thing. Actually, it's an okay thing. In this one, there's just so much going on in this scene. You've never seen any of Succession?
I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Like, I just started last week, and I haven't been able to. I'm trying to binge through it, but people told me, I've told people I'm watching Succession. Some people tell me don't do it. It's slow.
Who said it's slow? It's extremely fast paced.
I've at least 2 or 3 people told me it's slow.
Cool. You know what? All of the people who say Succession is slow, I hope they get replaced by AI in life.
Okay, that's fair.
Like those people are the ones, and they're the first to go anyway. Because what are you contributing? If you think Succession is slow, what are you contributing? What could you possibly be contributing?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I liked it.
Like it? Was it slow?
No, not necessarily. Not any slower than
it moves like this. Slow. So criticize a show, but don't be asinine about it.
Yeah, that's what the people told me. I got my finger on the pulse.
You don't have your finger on the pulse. You've seen 2 episodes of this show that's in its 4th season.
I'm going to try to catch up before the finale.
Plus, it's got the most banging theme song in television.
It's too long. It's way too long.
Oh, my God. You don't like the themes? I hope you get replaced by AI.
No, I like the theme song, but it's like 3 minutes long, it feels like. They used like the entire...
It's a great song. Boom. Ching. I never skip it.
It's dope.
I never skip it.
Long intro.
Oh, and we watch it all. Look at those home movies of the Roys every time. But yeah, this scene from last weekend's episode was just so freaking good. But I was thinking that, like, I also think that this is the sort of cap off of the end of I don't even know if this is technically the end of the golden age of television or just the end of the age of television that we kind of know. What do you think is the golden age?
Isn't golden age like Sopranos?
See, I thought that too. Well, no. Okay, so
If you count that, I know it's like a big gap.
There's a gap there. So I feel like Sopranos changed TV forever, but it was an outlier. And that I think the golden age starts around 2007, 2008. Now, technically, too, you also got to keep in mind, Breaking Bad was not a huge show when it first came out. See, what's ironic about Breaking Bad is you can go back and you can look at interviews with Vince Gilligan, and he says that the reason that Breaking Bad became successful is because the seasons got uploaded to Netflix. So it was like after season 1, it picked up a new fan base because people didn't watch it on AMC or whatever. It was on AMC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People didn't watch it on AMC. But then they saw the whole season was on Netflix. They binged it. They watched it. Season 2 picked up an even bigger fan base. So ironically, this thing that is replacing traditional television is also the thing that, in my opinion, launched what is probably the golden age of TV. And AMC needs more credit because AMC did Mad Men that started right before Breaking Bad. And Mad Men, I think that 2007, 2008, Mad Men and Breaking Bad combined was the launch of like the last real golden age of TV.
Also, I mean, it's not anywhere near the same quality as Breaking Bad and Mad Men, but Walking Dead was a juggernaut, and that was around the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
So AMC had three bangers.
Oh shit, Walking Dead was AMC too.
Yeah, they had bangers.
And by the way, the first 3 seasons or so of Walking Dead, insane. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like that show fell apart, but that doesn't mean it didn't start good. Now, some people say that like the 1970s is the golden age of television. And I mean, it's great. All in the Family. Sure, it's awesome. But like the things that we were doing, right before the 2010s and into 2010s is outrageous. It's cinema quality. So not only did you have Mad Men and Breaking Bad and then Walking Dead, but over on FX, I don't know if you ever got into this, Hot Dog. Sons of Anarchy is around the same time. And have you seen Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Oh, Hot Dog. It is so good. You know what? You might even want to hit pause on Succession and put on Sons of Anarchy. You will love Sons of Anarchy, dude. It is not, because Sons of Anarchy, if you're not an idiot, you can enjoy it. And if you are an idiot, you can enjoy it.
I love those shows.
And I'm not going to tell you which category I put you in, by the way.
Well, I know. I'm not an idiot. You don't have to tell me.
Okay, whatever. So, but I'm saying...
Quick correction on the... Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Give me the correction.
The Breaking Bad wasn't on Netflix until the end of the 4th season.
4th? Did it take that long? Because I saw this interview that said Netflix really helped Breaking Bad. Like Vince said it.
Yes, because I believe, because I see some interviews, they wrote Breaking Bad. They wrote the ending of season 4 as if it was the finale in case they didn't get picked up for season 5. That's
so crazy. It's like one of the most important finales in the history of television, and it almost didn't happen, you're saying?
Yeah, like Gilligan said, like if he didn't get picked up, he was happy it ending with that last episode of season 4.
What was the last episode of season 4? Was that
where it got revealed that Walter poisoned Brock it was a close-up shot of the flower?
Yes.
After killing Gus?
Yeah. Oh, and you realize Walter is just a hunk of shit.
And that's probably when I saw Breaking Bad, because I know I binged all 4 seasons before the season 5 premiere, and that's how I got into the show. So that's when it went on Netflix.
Dude, at the same time as Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, The Walking Dead, Mad Men, you know what's going on NBC?
What?
The Office.
Ah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. And people come up to me. If anybody ever came up to me and told me that like Friends was better than The Office, I mean, I would consider committing a crime. It is so not in the same ballpark.
What year did The Office end?
What year did it end? Good question. You look that up for me.
2013.
See?
Which You also, I guess, you also have to add Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones started
100%.
in 2011.
100%. You put those dragons and all that incest in there. Game of Thrones, not only Game of Thrones, but Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
See, Nucky?
That's a lot of good shows.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, to me, that is that capsule, right? I think that everything after that capsule is, you know, all the streaming shows and stuff, and Succession is like that last, like, oh, we had one left. Like, there's one kick out, you know, like that last scare in the horror movie. Oh, we're not done quite yet.
Well,
that's Succession.
Or the way Roman Reigns just kicks out and nuts somebody.
Nut shots him. Yeah, nut shots Jey Uso with the kick out. That's Kendall Roy right there. That's Succession. Yeah, it's the last of those shows. And like, dude, there's still, like, Beef. We were talking about Beef a few weeks ago. Beef is incredible.
Yes. And I feel like it would have been bigger if it was on a platform that doesn't give you all the episodes at once.
I don't think so. No, I can't stand it. I can't. I've got, you know, I don't, how I feel about this. They're so rare. Like, I will put up with it from Succession and Yellow Jackets because technically they are still on standard cable. But they when Hulu came to me and said, "You like this show about the Chippendales?" I said, "Matter of fact, I do like the Chippendale show." They said, "Come back next week for episode 3." I went, "For the Chippendale show." Week to week for the Chippendale show. As if. It would never. And I walked away from Hulu for 8 weeks. And you know what I did after 8 weeks? I watched every episode of the Chippendale show. One after another after another. Did you know there were murders involved with the Chippendales hot dog?
No.
I saw them all.
Well, I mean, that's good for you, but it probably doesn't help the shows when it does that. And that's why if Succession was on Netflix...
I'm not a charity. Entertain me.
But you wouldn't be talking about this whole Succession is going to be the last of the dying breed thing if Succession was on Netflix and all of a sudden everyone just binged it.
Yeah, I know, because it wouldn't be the last of the dying breed. It would be part of the next thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I see what you mean.
No, I mean, there are things that it works for. Like, I guess Mandalorian does pretty well with that model.
Yeah. The Last of Us, it's going to get a second season.
Last of Us is HBO, traditional cable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like, there's no way I'm turning on Netflix every single week to watch a Beef. I'm not doing it.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie. And
you like the community.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't watch Succession.
I'm so far behind. I'm trying to at least make it to the season finale, the series finale.
Wasn't True Blood also in that 2008 to 2016 timeframe?
Yeah, Dexter.
Fuck. I mean, what a time, huh? What a time.
We tell our kids that we lived through that.
No wonder TV shows on DVD got so popular. They were excellent. But see, that's what I mean, too. That's how you know, like, oh, everybody wants the community. TV shows on DVD got huge. You know why? Nobody wants to watch one episode of a show. It's not enough. Unless it sucks. Then one episode is fine. Give me the whole enchilada. Give it all to me. Put it in my veins. Right now.
I mean, I bought Mr. Robot and I still haven't watched it.
Of course not.
So I don't think that applies to everyone.
No, not all the shows. Mr. Robot. See, that's what I mean. Mr. Robot was better week to week. One is enough.
Yeah. I need a little break.
We gotta see our little Christian Slater, Rami Malek. Okay. That was good. I'll see you next week.
See you next year.
See, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll see. I'll throw it on my DVR. I'll see when I get to it. Yeah, man. No, I'm very much of the mindset of just dropping the whole show. And I didn't sit there and watch Beef in one weekend. I took over about 3 weekends, but also
3 weekends. They're so short. They're half an hour each.
I'm watching a couple different shows.
Oh, I can't do that.
I got my hands everywhere. But I also think, right, that like the benefit is like if you watch Succession this season, they're probably spending literally $1 million an episode on locations alone. Like the money that's being poured into this thing. They had just a full episode in the Swiss Alps. They had another full episode on a boat. They had it's insane what they're doing.
Actually shot in New York, not some Toronto bullshit.
Exactly. Yes. You know how expensive that is. It's not Friday the 13th. Jason Takes Manhattan in Toronto. No. Yeah. But you can't take a chance when you're doing stuff like that. And that, I feel like, is the benefit of the streaming services, especially if you're dropping the whole show at once. If you're dropping a show over the course of 10, 12 weeks, you are banking on that show, pushing your platform forward for 2 to 3 months. If you're dropping a series all at once, yeah, you're going to spend money on it, but maybe if they can do it a little cheaper, you go, okay, if this is a hit, great. If this is Squid Games, fantastic. But we're not spending the type of resources it takes to maintain a show for 12 weeks, because that means you have to promote it for all the weeks. That means you have to be on the front page for all the weeks. It's taking up valuable resources.
Not really. I mean, you promote it at the beginning of the season, and then if it's that good, like Succession, the talk at the water cooler is going to do all the promotion.
Oh, I forgot about the water cooler. You mean the water cooler where most workers are now going, I could do this from home. I have a water cooler in my house.
Yes, that water
that
cooler.
Water
what else
cooler?
Are we going to talk about?
You think the gals are going to be talking about it on Slack?
Yeah, that's it. If you're confident on your show, you don't have to spend that much more extra money just because you're spreading it out over 3 or 4 months.
Can you imagine going into a meeting with executives and them going like, well, what about the resources to promote this show? And you go, word of mouth.
Yeah. I'm talking about when you have a hit. When you have a hit show. I'm not talking about every other show.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You don't need to worry about promotion. It's a hit. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
Trust me when I tell you. Cowboys versus Aliens. Advertising budget, 0. Why? It'll be a hit.
I didn't say that.
Come on, we got Harrison Ford in it. We can't go wrong. Put all the money that you were going to do into advertising into Harrison Ford's pocket. Don't worry about it. It'll be a hit.
How much promotion did you personally see for Last of Us? Like commercials or billboards and things like that. How much did you see?
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
I personally did live reads for it for 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, never mind.
It was on the front page of HBO Max every day.
Sure.
There were billboards. There were when you're doing radio ads, you're running the gamut.
I mean, you still got to do that stuff for streaming shows that pop up for like 1 week altogether. That's
4
not going
weeks
away.
of live reads.
Yeah, they did that for Stranger Things too.
Don't worry.
No, Stranger Things wasn't released all at once, was it?
Yes, Stranger Things was released all at once.
Okay, then, and that's the same promotion that you did.
You just said they didn't do it for Stranger Things.
I got confused in my head for a second.
You argued my side, dude.
Yeah.
So we strike Stranger Things from the record?
Yeah, disregard.
Okay. No problem. Look, the real problem. The real problem is not AI, is not the end of TV shows, is not the end of any of this. By the way, if you want to contribute to the show, super chat in. I'm seeing your super chats. Every super chat will get acknowledged. We'll read them at the end of the show. The problem is that the stories, they're just because the passing of information is so strong these days that there are just these amazing stories everywhere. You don't even need to go to the movies anymore. For instance, Southwest Airlines. We all love. Did you know, by the way, that with all the stories, I feel like every time we talk about an airline story, DQ says it, Degrassi. Now, Degrassi was technically before all this. Degrassi was more like 2000, 2001 until 2005, 2006, but still, incredible show.
Degrassi was not peak TV. Stop.
Name me a better Canadian melodrama.
I cannot. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's 2 arguments for me.
Peak Canadian TV. Ooh.
Peak Canadian melodrama.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Peak Canadian teenage melodrama.
Okay, out of
Give me something better.
I'm coming back with a list.
Give me something better. You could put the whole CW lineup against it. Canadian CW. I feel like every time we talk about an airline story, it's a Southwest, right? Remember, like over the holidays, everybody was delayed and had to miss vacation days and hanging out at the airport for 3 days, all because
Something about the
Southwest.
algorithm,
Yes,
right?
it was always Southwest. You know who's number 1 with customer satisfaction according to JD Power?
It's not Southwest.
Yeah.
Right?
Southwest is tied. It's a 3-way tie. It's Alaska Airlines, American Airlines, and Southwest. People love Southwest. I don't know how I feel like some of the other airlines are coming together. Tell me if I'm paranoid. Because Southwest ranks very high with customer satisfaction. I feel like some of the other airlines, I don't know if it's JetBlue's. I don't know if it's Delta.
Love JetBlue.
I don't know who it is. I feel like they're planting negative stories about Southwest in the press so that people don't realize that they're rated so high in customer satisfaction.
A conspiracy.
I believe there is a conspiracy. Every time there's a negative story about an airline at Southwest, and I turn around and the people who actually fly Southwest are all saying, this is as good as American and Alaskan. This is number 1. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't add up. Especially when JD Power, they said this. They said they did their research. And they said, well, if the flights are getting delayed and everybody's getting upset, why does everybody love Southwest so much? And they said, number 1, they feel like they're getting a deal. I believe that. Number 2, the pilots are funny and the flight attendants are funny. They really, yes. They really make it seem like they want to fly with you. That's a direct quote that I read today because I was, obsessed with this. The pilots are funny and the flight attendants are funny.
Hey, if you make them laugh, that goes a long way.
I don't know. I kind of want to go on a Southwest flight. I kind of want, because there were some good jokes.
Have you ever been? I've never been.
I've never been because, it sounds like a nightmare. Southwest is the airline where they don't do assigned seating. So it's like getting on the bus. You just get on the plane and sit where you want and hold, fingers crossed. There are people who've gotten into fights because people are trying to be selfish with their middle seat, or like a couple, I don't know if you know this, Hot Dog. A lot of people, when they travel, they go with somebody. So, yeah. So there are stories where I guess there's own, how there are manners that you have, you're supposed to have on the airplane. For instance, there's some people who still don't realize you don't stand up when the plane lands. If you're back in coach.
A lot of people do that.
It's so annoying. If you're in row 28 and you stand up as soon as the plane lands.
What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
What?
For what?
You got to wait for everybody else.
You should see if somebody behind me stands up as soon as the plane lands and they have to just stand there for 12 minutes while they're waiting for everyone else to get off the plane. Oh, it's like a turtle getting his bag out from the overhead. I am so slow and making sure that they wait every minute that they should. But you're also not supposed to hold seats when you're on Southwest. Everybody's supposed to get, right? So there was one couple, for instance, that got in trouble on TikTok because they, one got the aisle seat, one got the window seat. And so they sat down and they held their middle seat, right? Even though they're going to sit next to each other. And they waited and they watched people as they were coming up the aisle. and they waited until they found one that they liked. And that's when the husband or the wife moved over to the middle seat and said, "Would you like this aisle seat?"
Got a nice little threesome going.
I know, it sounds sexual, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It does sound like a throuple scenario. But it's interesting that they say that the flight attendants are funny and they make it seem like they want to fly with you. And I feel like an airline must have heard this, because as soon as I read that quote, I see this news story where it seems like a Southwest flight attendant has been pushed past the breaking point when a person spills their rice.
I love that.
You knew I wasn't going to let this go.
Yeah.
You knew I wasn't going to let this go. I guess they were going either from Houston to Arizona or Arizona to Houston. I don't know. Maybe these anchors will help me out with this.
A head scratcher.
Yeah, we're all over here shaking our heads. The Southwest Airlines.
Are they listening to each other? A head scratcher. Yeah, we're all over here shaking our heads.
Shame.
Who shakes their heads while they're scratching their heads?
It's very uncomfortable.
Nobody would do that.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're 100% right. We're all shaking our heads. He didn't say a head shaker. He said a head scratcher. Are these two listening to each other? What, is this a conversation? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone over here. Real head scratcher here. Yeah, we're all clapping our hands. What? Are we talking? Huh?
I only got two hands.
Flight delay that is a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, we're all over here shaking our heads. The Southwest Airlines flight from Atlanta to Houston was delayed for an hour because of spilled rice in the aisle. Matt Doherty is talking to a passenger tonight about the commotion.
And then he tries to save it by shaking his head. He's like, fuck, I was going to scratch.
We talked about this before the show.
God damn it. I told her I didn't want to. Maybe that's what it was. She's like, how do you want to handle this one? You want to shake our heads? He's like, I am not shaking my head. And then she motherfucked him and was like, yeah, we're all shaking our heads. And he went, ooh, she got me.
Because of spilled rice in the aisle. Matt Doherty is talking to a passenger tonight about the commotion the mess caused.
This story sounds almost too ridiculous
That little music was totally unnecessary too.
to be true, but of course there is video to prove it. The woman we spoke with tonight says she and her fellow passengers got a tongue lashing from flight attendants when
That's what I
no
want.
one would confess.
There was a tongue lashing at the airport today. Yeah, we're all shaking our heads. What?
To the mess.
It was the end of a long day. They'd apparently had a complete crew change. I'm sure they were tired. We were all tired.
Jennifer Shopper says she and her fellow passengers couldn't wait to get off the ground Saturday.
I bet Jennifer's got a cousin at one of the other airlines. This should not be. By the way, the fact that this is a news story, it's just so suspicious. Like, shit like this happens on airplanes. Why is this a news story?
Yeah, she has her JetBlue badge.
Yeah, she wasn't on this flight.
Saturday night, she was headed back to Houston from her trip to Atlanta. It wasn't until all the passengers had taken their seats that she saw it, right in the center of the aisle.
That's gross. First of all, you should never bring rice on a plane.
Yeah, I didn't think that they would let you in with outside food anyway.
Oh, what are
do
you?
it for JetBlue?
What are you, a rookie? You can bring food on a plane.
Outside food?
100%, bro.
Ah.
You never brought McDonald's on a plane?
No, never even thought of that.
Think about it. How great would it be?
Nice Big Mac.
Dude, it's even better than you just thought. Do you know how many flights I've gotten on? And I've got my backpack on, I've got my bag, and I've also got a giant soda from the restaurant. As long as you get it after security, you're good to go, dude.
Well, yeah, I just figured you have to eat it before you get back on the.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not. I get my food to go, and I will sit at the gate. I don't care if I'm a half hour early. I'll sit at the gate with the food in the bag because I go, no. That's airplane food.
I'm going to save me some chicken tendies.
Oh, can you imagine? And then, and you're traveling to a different state. There's a Chick-fil-A in the airport. And you get to bring it on a plane with you. You get to sit there. You put your little iPad up. You're watching one of the A&E WWE documentaries. You're eating Chick-fil-A.
Might spill some sauce because of turbulence.
No, you can't do that. That's what I'm saying. You can't be messy about it. Okay? Rice is a totally inappropriate food for that action. Chicken tendies that you just mentioned, hot dog.
Appropriate.
Perfect. Finger food, bite size. Fragrant salads, inappropriate. Sandwiches that fall apart, inappropriate. A Big Mac, appropriate. A Big Mac's not going to fall apart. You can be able to handle that.
Right.
My rule of thumb, if you're bringing food on a plane, is it's got to be food that if you could eat it while you're driving.
Finger food.
Finger food.
Not a plate. You don't want a hot plate. You don't want a bowl.
No bowls.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
That's uncouth.
Nothing. Honestly, nothing from Chipotle.
A burrito.
They fall apart, dude.
Yeah.
But certainly not a Tupperware of rice. Come on. Then you have to bring a fork on with you? What are you doing? Where were you raised?
See it happened, but apparently one of the last passengers to board spilled a large amount of what looked like some sort of Asian fried rice situation.
Okay, that
And the
feels
flight attendant
like a racist attack, honestly.
Why?
I don't know. How does she know the country of origin of the rice?
was really, really mad about it.
Mad enough to keep everyone grounded.
She went up and down the aisle and asked each passenger one by one, loudly, who spilled the rice.
The situation.
Who spilled the rice? Did you spill the rice? Did you spill the rice?
Goddamn rice. Right here in the middle of the plane.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to pick up that rice? I guess you think I'm going to pick up the rice. First of all, look where the rice is, okay? She said she asked every passenger. It's all the way back here. There's no way anybody that's sitting up there, like in row 3, that guy didn't spill the rice. Why would he be doing all the way back there?
He needs answers. Maybe one of them knows. Maybe one of them has the lead.
Did you see?
Maybe they
anything?
saw the perp come in with the chicken fried rice.
But also, how does the flight attendant have that kind of control? The pilot
That's
needs
a good question.
The pilot needs to come out of the cockpit, go clean up the rice, sit down. We're flying to Houston, and everybody would be like, "Woo! This is why I love Southwest. Tell us a joke. Tell us a joke."
Maybe it's more like the husband-wife dynamic, where the husband just kind of like, "Hey, whatever the lady says, she's the boss."
Yeah, and as soon as she turns around, he's like rolling his eyes, going, "I don't know, man. I don't know, man." What did you say? Nothing.
I think it might be that. She determines when we fly.
Oh, I was at the DMV today, and there was this woman who was just mad at everything. She was like, "I've been married for 43 freaking years. I don't have my certificate." And the husband walks over to her. He's like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you." "No, I don't." "It's right here. It's right here." "All right, so I had it. I don't want to be here today." And she's looking at the cashier. She's like, "I've been married, 43 freaking years, but this might be it." And the guy's like, "Yeah, it might be it. It might be it." I'm just like,
beaten down.
Oh, just 42 and a half years of torture. The first 6 months were great. 42 and a half years of torture.
That's a lot.
And then you know what the husband said to the wife? He said, "Put your gloves on and do your wifely duty." And I was like,
God,
what is
no,
this?
you're confusing
okay, I
me.
know.
That's
Okay,
another
maybe
guy.
I don't know. I consume so much stuff.
Oh, no.
On the aisle and asked each passenger one by one, loudly, who spilled the rice.
The situation continued to get more tense, definitely more awkward, gauging from the expressions on the passengers'
They look like
faces.
children.
They do look like, well, there's probably a lot of like college kids and stuff up there that paid for cheap tickets, not realizing. And that's the other problem with Southwest is that you can go, my flight was delayed an hour because somebody spilled rice and the stewardess lost her mind. And then people will go like this, "What's Southwest? What do you expect?" That's why it's cheaper.
You think you just would fly in Delta?
I know it wouldn't. I fly Delta every time. I've never seen anything like
Or at
this.
least the amount of people that are there, the class of people someone would have gotten up and picked it up.
Somebody would
Like,
have somebody would have picked it up, or somebody would have figured out who did it and put their face right in it. We don't mess around on Delta.
Another flight attendant came and put a paper towel on it and again said, "We are not leaving this gate until someone cleans up this rice."
But still, nobody would confess.
But again, I don't think you want to walk through it.
She gets on the loudspeaker, says again that we're not leaving until this rice is cleaned.
Good.
So she cleans the rice, but the entire time she's yelling at all the passengers about how nobody was raised right and how disappointed she is in all of us.
None of you were raised right.
I love her.
Disappointed? Disappointed? How disappointed I am in all of you? What did you feel about me? How could I disappoint you? You don't know me. None of you were raised right. No, lady, you weren't raised right. You don't know how to handle your shit.
Tell you what, there were no jokes being cracked on that flight.
No. I mean, look, somebody should have cleaned up the rice. Okay? Especially after that one baseball player was complaining about popcorn on the floor that his kid put there. And everybody was like, yeah, you should clean it up. Your wife should clean it up. The kid should clean it up.
Spoiled fucks.
That's what I'm saying.
So
But also they were delayed an hour, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once you've gone 5 minutes and you haven't admitted that you're the one who spilled the rice, you can't. You can't. Like, what's that? Like, how far? You've gone
40 minutes in.
No
40
way.
minutes
You
in.
can't anymore. You're like, fuck. Like, I really want to admit that I did this, but I can't.
Now everyone is going to hate your guys. They might fight you.
Yes. You can't at that point. It's like, you can probably 10 minutes is as far as you can go. Anything after 10, you're like,
some big guy is probably like, whoa, what the fuck? You couldn't just pick that shit up?
You're going to make her sweep up your mess? I know. I didn't.
Why'd you wait 40 minutes?
No, I know. I shouldn't have waited so long. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the thing. It's too late into this. There's no way out now.
But for her, it was about sending a message.
That they weren't
ready.
ready.
Clean it. Like, she probably was like, I'm going to clean it up, but I will wait. I will make you fuckers wait.
That's right. I know I'm going to end up cleaning this up. But if I'm late, you're late. Okay?
Yeah, I respect it.
This is going to be a long day for all of us.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
About an hour after the rice was first discovered and after a sharp
Call the local news. We're going nowhere.
scolding from the crew, the plane finally took off. Jennifer says whoever made the mess.
After that, I don't think that they would want to admit to it, but yeah, they should have cleaned up their mess.
Nevertheless, what's the use in crying over spilled rice?
What?
The whole thing was also really comical and kind of saw the light side of the situation. We're all stuck there. May as well make it funny.
We contacted Southwest Airlines. They told us they were not familiar with the incident.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Mm-hmm. No, we keep everything in-house.
Rice? Oh, I didn't hear nothing about any rice.
Yeah. Yeah, something as trivial as spilled rice, they're just like, no comment.
Yeah. Did a stewardess keep the flight an hour after to clean up rice? I never heard anything about that.
We can't comment on that.
That's probably a different plane.
They probably gave her like a heads up. Like, yeah, you did good though.
Yeah.
We
They called her
respect
up. They were like, don't tell the press. You were in the right.
They did say that their flight attendants do a tremendous job ensuring the safety
You're right.
and comfort of their customers.
Yeah.
Back to you.
They watched they
Also
got
new attendant.
they watched they look out for theirs. Nobody's
Good.
coming. No, they look out for theirs because they know these big airline companies are planting stories. They're planting stories and they're making sure people try to take down the good name of Southwest Airlines and they won't have it.
Yeah, they're leaking these stories to the Sean Ross Sapp of airline industries.
That's right. $5 a month for all the airline news you need.
Flightful.
That was good. I like. Okay, all right. It was inside, but it was a real.
Can
good
AI
one.
do that?
Easily?
Maybe. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like putting into ChatGPT. Can you do an airline pun for Fightful.com? They would immediately go Flightful. Well, look, if you've been enjoying the show, feel free, super chat in. All super chats will get acknowledged here on Sam Roberts Now, the loneliest show on all of the
because of Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo. Are you going out for Cinco de Mayo, Hot Dog?
Hell yeah, I am.
Good for you. Good for you. Cinco de Drinko, am I right?
Yeah, you'll get some drunk text messages on the group chat.
I know.
This fucking bullshit.
I know. I will. You'll probably be getting kicked out of someplace else.
I got kicked out of the cellar.
I know Jim Norton and Sherrod. Okay, let me in.
Let me in.
All right, let's get to these super chats. Six Crow, just checking in. I appreciate you, Six Crow. You're the man. Randy Rhea, is it possible during the strike we could get the reality TV show? We could get the reality show on TV, American Life Chip Chipperson. I think it's possible. I think we could. Although these days reality shows have more writers than scripted shows, so that might be tough.
Maybe this is your time to pitch some content to the network shows. Be like, hey, while Colbert's gone, I could fill in that slot.
So just straight up scab.
Yeah, hell yeah. Undercuts it.
Right. Undercut it?
Undercutter.
You do a good Canadian accent. Jeffrey Blake, Bennington, I called it. Comment. I guess Jeffrey was the one that tipped us off last week that Bennington was only going to be out. Well, what's the new schedule? I think 4 days a week, 2 hours a day? I think so.
That's what I heard last week.
That's what I heard, yeah. Well, congratulations. I love that Jeffrey just super chatted in to be like, remember last week when I was right?
Hey, do it every week.
Yeah, no. Congrats on being right. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Edgar Chipperson. How come you're not in Puerto Rico, Sammy Bran Muffins? Tis, tis. That's a good question. The answer is because tomorrow I will be watching the Backlash pay-per-view in Stamford, Connecticut at the WWE studios. And right after the show, myself, Matt Camp, and the man that they refer to as the luckiest man in show business, Ryan Popola, will be, other than you, Hot Dog, will be doing a post show that will air on Peacock at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. So 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Peacock and on the WWE's YouTube channel, I'll be part of the big post show giving all my genius thoughts. So that's why
if you can't be in Puerto Rico, next best thing is Stamford, Connecticut.
Stamford in May is beautiful.
Yes.
I may say that on the show, by the way. B. Herb says, F, Mary, Kill, Dylan Mulvaney, Elliot Page, or Hot Dog. Okay, I guess this one's for me. I was hoping it was for Hot Dog.
I'm not killing myself.
Huh?
Or fucking myself.
Yeah. I guess I'll drink off for a while. I'm probably going to marry, I'll probably marry Elliot Page because Juno, we'll watch Juno and we'll watch the Umbrella Academy, so that's a good time. And then, I mean, it'd be really weird to have intercourse with Hot Dog. So probably have intercourse with Dylan Mulvaney and have, we'll have some Bud Light. It'll be fun. And then,
Sure.
I would probably kill Hot Dog, I guess.
I get it.
Nathan Gerald, F, Mary, Kill, Terry Clifford, Todd Pettingale, Greg Hughes.
Sounds like it's also for you.
No, I want to throw that to you, Hot Dog.
That's on you.
All right. Well, I would I'd probably marry Todd Pettingale for the WWE stories, right?
Of course. Like
Todd and I would just be sitting there telling all kinds of stories. I mean, WWF Mania, hanging out with Macho Man. He was at SummerSlam. He's a legend. I probably apologized to him about Jocktober. That was my bad.
I got a tree in my house.
Yeah, I was on your side, Todd. I don't know what those guys were talking about. I would probably she's a female and also she's goated. So I'd probably F Terry Clifford. I think that's the only choice there. And I don't remember what the other one was.
Greg Opie Hughes is the third one.
Process of elimination. B Herb 76. Golden Age of Wrestling. Which decade is the best? That's very difficult because I think the right answer is generally the decade you grew up with. No, for me, it's terrible. But new generation era WWE does it for me like no other era. I love the new generation, but that's also because that's when I was raised. Hot Dog, I wouldn't be surprised if you have the Ruthless Aggression era deep in your heart.
Yeah, my favorite two eras, not counting Attitude Era, because I was really, everyone, and that's kind of cheap. But I would say Ruthless Aggression 2004, 2005, heading into WrestleMania 21.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say SmackDown Live summer 2016 to 2017.
Was that when they first split it and they had the crane shot?
Yes.
You know
where
what I'm
it
talking
was
about? The jib shot that would make it
that
look
they
different?
don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Where like, and the shows were actually split. They had their personality. And
Shane was in charge of SmackDown, and
SmackDown did not miss.
That's a good call. Wait a minute. I know why you like that so much.
Why?
Jinder.
No. Jinder came spring of 2017. Although you
just said 2016, 2017.
I said summer 2016, spring 2017. Jinder was spring. He was right at the end of that.
Okay.
All
right.
Like, I'm talking about till WrestleMania, where they did that weird Bray Wyatt Randy Orton title match. Then SmackDown Live,
don't remind me of that. That was my first working WrestleMania. I watched that match from up at the top of where the globe is. Me and X-Pac just standing up there. It was very romantic, actually. JD Straight Shot. Hi, guys. First time, long time. I don't know if that's true. Have you had a chance to get the haps from Club Soda about the infamous chest bump of doom event? He was right. Love you, hot dog. No, I have not. One thing I don't do is I don't hunt down. Like, I'll peripherally watch gossip and all that stuff, but I'll never go to primary parties and go, hey, give me the skinny.
You're a broadcaster, not a journalist.
Boom. PHWOFL, Sammy Scab Muffins, big news. All of Degrassi Junior High is available on YouTube. So is Kunk on Britain. I've been wanting to watch Kunk on Britain on Netflix or Kunk on whatever it is. I think I started the first episode and it's really good. It's just really awkward and feels hilarious. I just haven't had the time to really dive into it. And he also says 15 is just as good as Degrassi. It was Ryan Reynolds' first role. I hope he was quirky in it. Suspect Phil 2023. Sam taught me to super chat, so now I'm buying them. Appreciate that, Suspect Phil. It's a fun thing to do. You guys should try it. It's so much fun to super chat.
And smash that like.
I forgot. Look at you guys with your being selfish with your likes. Smash the like. Poodlerific. I listened to Chris Hansen's podcast on Mike Montone's recommendation. It's tedious. Hansen talks so slow. Is that so Montone can keep up? Let me tell you something. Mike Montone is an incredible addition to the show, an incredible man, but he is not a word economy guy. He loves anything long-winded. I mean, listen to the way the guy talks. It's just, Mike,
like father, like son.
We could have gotten this done in 30 seconds. We've been here for a half hour. What are we doing? Come on. I have not heard the podcast, though. Chris Hansen has... He's got good YouTube stuff. Nicholas Dallow, love you, Sammy. Please do a Beau is Afraid review at some point. Maybe I hit you. I don't know if next week is too late for a Beau is Afraid review. Nah, you guys want my thoughts on that. Yeah, I gotta find the time to do Beau is Afraid. I was at WWE HQ on Wednesday, today, Saturday. I mean, Jim and Sam. I mean, this Tuesday, Notsam Wrestling goes up on the Notsam Wrestling YouTube channel. Friday, this show goes up here. We're getting organized. I feel like I'm Al Pacino. I feel like I'm Scarface. We got to get organized. Poodlerific. Did Sam just say Tupperware? Well, I think I said Tupperware. But if I said Tupperware, then I said it. But I meant Tupperware, if that's the case.
I don't have instant replay, unfortunately.
No. Suspect Phil. Why buy one when you could buy two at twice the price? Thank you, Suspect Phil. And Jeffrey Blake just wrote, sorry. You don't have to be sorry. I thought it was funny. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Jordan Williams, this is not a super chat. I just was looking at the screen and find it to be a very hilarious comment. It says Jim and Sam gets worse every show. So like every single show, the show gets just slightly worse. Now, I would love to figure out how to remedy that. That wasn't...
you want to go up, Sam, not down.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my perception of the show. Like, I don't think the show was at its strongest at episode 1. And then every single episode has just gotten slightly worse and worse and worse. I thought we were on a pretty okay roll. I thought this week was pretty good. But that's why, I thought like Thursday's show was good with Bob Kelly and Henry Winkler. And I thought Monday's show was really good with Ricky Gervais and Rich Voss. And
Great guest this week.
I think we had some fun stuff on Tuesday and Wednesday. But, I mean, if the show is actually getting progressively worse each day, number one, I think that there's something that should remedy that. And number two, man, do I appreciate you sticking in there with us long enough to not only listen to the show every day, but to even come to Sam Roberts now. That's huge. Maybe it's
the whole chart.
Yeah. I hope this, here's my primary, I hope this show is not getting worse every show. I hope this show is at least getting, at least staying on the same level.
We'll see what Jordan says.
Jordan Williams says Henry Winkler was famous 45 years ago. He's in Barry. Barry's a huge show. Barry's the show that's on after Succession. Barry's super popular. And I think,
a legend, a living legend.
I think everybody knows who Henry Winkler is. And the fact that he was on the show, talking about how if he were mad on an airplane, he would rip out somebody's jugular and testicles, I thought was a decent little quote.
I love that.
Yeah.
I did not expect that from him.
Yeah. Okay. And then Jordan says, this show is sometimes okay. All right. All right. Well, then let's leave on a high note. Let's leave on a positive.
Okay.
I will take the compliment. I appreciate you, Jordan. I'm going to work on what I need to work on, but I'm going to accept the compliments as well. I think that's a valuable thing. You got 5 styluses, so you might as well use them. I'm going to cheers with you later.